Hello, YouTubers. My name is X Factor. Welcome to a very chaotic ending to some Battlefield 4 Gulf of Oman Rush, where we go back and forth with the defensive team between setting and then them defusing MCOMs over and over. And there's another set on A as I'm trying to sneak up into some cover because the tank is coming. And this is what I usually do with C4, and here's my reason. Sometimes you miss, but if you get it off, you're going to get a disable. If I would have taken the time to throw both, he would have just drove by, would have been out of range. Maybe he would have backed up on him. But that way, I get him disabled. If he were to be critically disabled, he would not be able to move the base of his tank. That means no pulling forward, rotating, backing up. He would have been basically dead in the water, which allows anybody and everybody just basically to gang up on him. The only time I throw two is when I'm right next to him and I think they're absolutely distracted. And here's a question I had. Do I clear out the MCOM area? I made the assumption that was clear. Or do I push the lane that they're going to be filling again? Just like you would if you're playing Conquest. Okay, these guys got pushed back. They've got to come back from their spawn. Why not take out a couple guys before they get there? And I messed up. And here's another mess up. Just jamming the Amtrak into the MCOM in a wide open space when the enemy team has multiple tanks. And here, the red dot is nowhere to be seen. And obviously you can see the 3D markers going on. Some of these guys are behind a wall that's to my left, but I can't tell because there's a massive snowstorm right there. And that's something that's been fixed in CTE. I've seen some screenshots of the red dot is even brighter. You can actually see the red dot while facing into the sun. That is a drastic and well-needed change, actually. So there I try to clear off as many as possible. It simply did not work. We're surrounding that. So I'm going to actually take a look at B and give it a different angle. The worst thing you could do as attackers is just funnel in as a straight line, kind of like we were doing on that A MCOM. Spread out, get some flanks. Why? Because it sets off crossfire lanes, and I'm trying to take out a couple last guys and did not expect somebody in that room. That's been a room, actually there's a couple rooms there, that you've been able to get into since Battlefield 3. I remember figuring that out when we were playing in a tournament or a league and saying, wait a minute, how these guys just do that to us? It took us about a half hour. But there's actually spots that you could fall into the building and you got suicide to get out. So I'm going to sit here and wait for that one more time. So I'm watching this B MCOM now. It is very hot, and I think I saw somebody get back there. Yes, I did. But the problem is I passed through somebody, and I am simply surrounded. He's still got the defuse, and it's too hot right now. I'm just trying to survive for a split second, maybe get to some cover. So I got there, but he got the defuse. Whenever an MCOM is set, just try to throw nades. If you can't get to it, if you got the XM25, if you got something, RPGs, just spam it. Every bit of splash damage happens, and once again, we get two sets. Maybe that's enough. And you can see me talking about bull rushing the Amtrak in. The Amtrak is probably the most powerful thing you have on this map. Just set it up in a pretty spot. Don't try to farm kills because most people don't even realize there's a secondary gun on it. Simply just set it up in a safe spot in a garage, behind a garage, someplace safe that's not going to get just instantly destroyed. And I'm trying to get another set yet again, taking a look into that building, this time throwing an incendiary round to see if I hear a voice or if there's some hit markers. If there were hit markers, I would know that there's definitely some bad guys. And I think I just figured out that there's a ton of people in the tower that I cannot do anything about. That's actually a pretty good launching spot. And just like that, they snuck behind me and got another defuse. That one's on me. And that's kind of the moral of this story. I'm not blaming the other team because I'm at fault for several of these things. The first MCOM, I probably should have watched it. That MCOM, I pretty much did everything in my power, but I probably should have watched it just a little bit better. I'm going to try to reposition because I'm last man in squad and get to a safe spot. And right here, I think I'm in the train. I just glitch out. I had this ridiculous screen shake. I've got concrete feet. I'm falling into the world. This is kind of weird because it's really hard to aim like this. So more of the story is when playing Rush, never assume the set. Never assume the MCOM is safe. Always do everything in your power to at least keep a couple sets of eyes on it. And always throw some nades at it when it's hot. When there's a bunch of people around, just throw some nades, RPGs, straw, smalls, anything that goes boom. If you see hit markers or hear voices, you know you've got a problem, and maybe you could take a good rush in. Shout out to the defenders. That was an amazing round because you guys were surrounded for pretty much the majority of that, and we still couldn't pull it off. Thanks for watching, YouTubers. We will see you soon.